We are back on Big Board Sports on a Monday morning. Coach Brown in studio. I tell you who I've been impressed with is Foster coming off the bench. I mean, if you're going to bring in a one-and-done guy, you certainly have brought in the right one-and-done guy because he should be, and he already is, a big contribution.
Yeah, Alex is really good. The problem is right now Steyer and Charles are playing at such a high level, and Alex is a grad transfer. Coming out of high school, he was a top 100 player nationally, went to Texas Tech and was in the rotation there, and then playing just a few minutes a game, and then Tubby Smith left. And he decided to go back home to Bradley and sat out a year and then had some injury issues last year and just wanted an opportunity to have a great final year. And I think we're fortunate that we got him. He can really score and rebound. He's one of those guys that we need to catch up defensively, but I think he's going to have a huge year for us. I think the combination of Steyer, Charles, and Foster is as good as any that we're going to play this year as far as front courts are concerned, right there with Vermont. And, I think Matt Conway's got a chance to be pretty good. He's just got to get a little more game experience at this level.
Will, how often, and maybe you can give us some kind of split on it, a kid like Foster, how often do you find him? How often do you get a call like, hey, check out this kid who may be looking to transfer?
Well, the grad transfer thing is crazy. The last couple of years, it's become really popular. And unfortunately, what I'm hearing is a lot of schools are actively recruiting kids while they're at other schools. Yeah. They know they're going to graduate, so they recruit the AAU coaches. What happens now in the world of social media and all these recruiting sites, all these lists get put out. Who's transferring, who's a grad transfer. And so what happens is when those lists come out, we just are looking for kids that want an opportunity and also, academically are interested in going to grad school. And it's got to be a good fit, right. So the more we learned about Alex, he was a really good kid. He wanted an opportunity. He understood that he was going to have to work for it, but he just really wanted to have a positive experience as his college career was winding down. So he's a good fit at Albany academically. He's a wonderful young man, and he's a good basketball player. This isn't something that, we look to do consistently. It's about need and about fit. And to be honest with you, since we will be graduating Steyer, Charles, and Foster, we might look to go that route again for one front court guy in the spring. We just have to wait to see who's going to become available. But you also have to be careful. A guy that was a top 100 recruit nationally and was at Texas Tech and higher level leagues, you also don't want to ruin your team chemistry with a kid that thinks he's going to come in and be the man. So it's not as easy as it sounds. You have to do your homework. You have to understand what your program's all about. Is it a good fit? And how are the other guys, the returning players, going to react? And I've got great kids. I'm very fortunate. That's just the way we recruit. And so it's been a real smooth transition for everyone involved. And he's been a pleasure, and I think he's only going to get better.
Will Brown in studio with us, UAlbany and Oneonta tonight. We'll have the call on ESPN3. It'll be myself and Brian Mariano, and it'll be simulcast on 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. What about Vermont? Are they as good as they were last year, better than they were last year? We heard about how close they came to hanging around and beating Kentucky. What do you know about Vermont?
I think they're as good as last year. They're just not as deep. I think they've got a terrific four. It's like the Fantastic Four. Bell Haynes, Ernie Duncan, Henson, and Lamb. Those four guys are really good. And, right now, I think talent-wise, for sure, we can play with them.
And you're deeper now than them.
We're deeper than we were a year ago. I think the thing for us is they're better than we are defensively right now. And we have to get better defensively. That's my whole thing. And I told our guys, I'm glad that you have the fire in the belly and, you want to get Vermont back. But if all of our focus is on Vermont and not about ourselves getting better, then we're not going to improve and we're not going to have the success that we want, and we're not going to put ourselves in a position to beat them in an America East Conference championship game right now. Right now, we just have to worry about ourselves and being the best Albany that we can be, control what we can control, and that's our effort, energy, and enthusiasm every single day. That's the hard part. I sit there and, I forget when I was a player. There's some days you just don't want to practice. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. Yeah. Whether, something's, you had a bad exam, or troubles with your girlfriend, troubles back home, you're under the weather, which in the Albany area, people getting sick left and right. So, but what we have to do is we have to avoid distractions, excuses, and we've just got to get better. We need to use Oneonta tonight, to get better. And then we have a tough stretch of games on the road against, some good teams where that if we don't play well, we're going to get beat. So, we just got it so early in the year. I don't know how good we are right now. I do know we have 3 quality wins. Yeah. Can we sustain it? Are we going to stay healthy? Are we going to get better? Those are all question marks right now.
This non-conference schedule is a little different for you guys because you're going to play the bigger programs, if you will, deeper into non-conference as opposed to when you start at a Kentucky or a Washington or wherever it may be. I know Washington was in the first game of the year. But you'll get Louisville and Memphis deeper into the schedule. Does that allow you to learn more in those games, even if they aren't wins, as opposed to, hey, let's just go have some fun at Kansas or at UCLA?
Yeah, you always want to have fun no matter who you play, but those games aren't, let's just go have fun and say we played at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. I'm a competitor to a fault, and I want my guys to be the same way. Wherever we play, we're going to prepare the same way, and the goal is to win. Mm-hmm. So obviously Memphis and Louisville, when we get to that point, will present tremendous challenges for us. The only reason that those games are later in the year is because it's part of an exempt event. So you have a 14-day window whenever the organizers of that event want those games to be played. And then you have to play 4 games within a 14-day window. And Memphis and Louisville happen to fall. That's where they fall in that 14-day window. And Louisville's a top 10 program, and Tubby Smith's a tremendous coach, and he's at Memphis. But we have so many games before that. But I think those games are good because every kid in the country thinks they should be playing at Louisville. And now this gives them an opportunity to, like when we went and played West Virginia in a hurricane relief game, hey, this is the reality of that level. This is what it's like. And usually the biggest difference is physical, the size, and the athleticism.
How does the West Virginia experience help you against Louisville? They're both teams, obviously, that press
I hope
relentlessly.
I hope Louisville doesn't press as much as West Virginia was. But West Virginia, you know what? You felt like you were in a 12-round or 15-round prize fight. When I'm complaining about a call, their players are just smiling. Bob Huggins is sitting in a stool with his arms crossed looking at me, smiling as my guy's laying on the floor after he just got tackled, and there's a no call. So, I don't know if Louisville is going to play the same way. Yeah. They have a new coach. Obviously, he took over for a Hall of Fame coach who he was very close with. Probably don't want to change too much, but I think every new coach wants to put their stamp on a program. But I think the fact that we had that experience playing at West Virginia will hopefully help us at Louisville, because if Louisville doesn't pressure us in the full court, they will in the half court. And we can't simulate, like for West Virginia in practice, we can't simulate the length. And that's the same thing with Louisville. Louisville's small forward is going to be 6'9", and they've got a 7'2" kid in the middle who just blocks shots with his elbow. We can't simulate that, and that's the hardest part. We'll be attacking pressure in practice and be like, all right, we got it. And then all of a sudden, it's like those go-go gadget arms just keep extending, and it's like, wow, we were going 5-on-7, getting ready for West Virginia, and the 7th guy was Nick Fruscio, who's the best, but Nick's like 5'11", and the managers at West Virginia are 6'5". You know what I mean? So it's just it's just different, but I love the challenge because. Those high-level schools, they go on runs. Mm-hmm. And basketball's a game of runs. Can you limit their runs? If they go on an 8-0 run, can you respond with your own run, even if it's a mini run? You got to avoid those 14-2 runs or 20-4 runs, because 2 of those in a short span, game over.
All right, so it's going to be different for you tonight because you're not going to be in the building. You're not going to be coaching this team tonight. But will you be? So if you don't like what you see in the first half, does Yachty get a long text from you where he goes into the locker room and have to go, okay, here's what Coach Brown just saw. Here's what we need to do. But are you going to let him go?
No, I'm letting the staff will know my expectation before they step out there. Yachty will have a list of expectations as far as rotation. We'll probably be very vanilla tonight with what we do offensively and defensively, just so we can just keep things real simple. But, they'll know my expectation, and John's been around me for so long. He'll do exactly what, I tell him to do. And, I just want him. The good thing about this is regardless of the opponent, it'll give him an opportunity to realize what it's really like to be a head coach. I said it all along.
I bet he's a little nervous tonight.
I said it all along when I was an assistant a long time ago for my good friend Brian Bury at St. Rose right out of college. He used to tell me, make a million suggestions because one might register in his head as a head coach. And I would make all these suggestions, and I'd be like, well, he just listened to me. I know what all we got to do is A, B, and C. Then when I became a junior college coach, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I wish I could go back to make some of those suggestions because you know what? 90% of them the head coach doesn't act on anyway, but it's just different. So I'm sure he'll do a good job, and I know the staff will help him, and the players will respond, and then after tonight we just move forward.
If we set the over/under at a half, technicals for Yachty tonight, does he go over or stay under a half? Will he get one?
He better not.
If he gets a technical tonight,
he better not.
If he gets a technical tonight, Bassett might be coaching the second half.
Is Bassett going to be with him tonight?
Bassett will be there tonight. Bassett will be there tonight.
All right. Well, we'll give you a shout out on ESPN3.
Well, I apprate that.
Hi, Coach Brown. Good to see you out there.
If anything tonight, I might text you being critical of your commentary.
That's fine.
This would be a first for you.
I might be Silver Fox. What's up?
All right, Coach. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. I am going to I got to find a way to get a shirt made up. Silver Fox. I think that'll be great.
Please.
It'll be a shirt for radio.
Don't even entertain that.
Thanks, guys. Eat that McDonald's. Otherwise, guys in Levac are going to have to.